Hi, friends. Welcome to the Anime Book Club podcast. I'm your host, DJ Montague.
And I'm your host, Greg. And here we review anime from classics to brand new stuff, hidden gems, and controversial favorites.
You'll hear all of our hot takes, rants,
and genius observations. So thanks for tuning in, and buckle up because the episode starts now.
By the way, friends, these episodes contain spoilers, so be careful and don't ruin this anime for yourself. You've been warned.
We are the Anime Book Club podcast. My name is Greg, keeper of the Lost Ball, watcher of everybody's backpacks, and unzipping only my kaiju pants. Large D, big smart, large D, Jesus, and here I am. I am joined with my friend, my partner, the pilot that he always wished he could be. This is where you say your name.
Hey, I'm DJ Montague. I was also going to say Proud Otaku because we're talking about Dan today. And oh my God, I am so excited. Okay, Greg, finish the intro. We're going right to Awesome Town.
We are going to be watching Dan to Dan Season 2, Episodes 10, 11, and the finale of the season, Episode 12. Welcome, everybody, to the show.
Welcome, friends. Good to have you here. I would like to say that Dan to Dan Season 2 has been an absolute delight and a pleasure on all the senses. I don't think there was as many deep and serious parts like there was Season 1, but...
You know, I mean, human sacrifices and exercising barely world-existing young beings. I thought it was actually pretty serious.
That, but also, like, what I mean is, like, the seriousness of, like, children and the prostitution from last season and getting murdered in the streets of Japan. When you detach a little bit from timelines, like looking at people being murdered hundreds of years ago for this town to exist, you lose a little bit of the feeling. But when you see someone that's literally like a year ago was murdered, that's when you're like, oh, okay, this is very recent. This is very fucked up and very sad.
I guess it's really relatable because that's something that happens now. And I'm not saying it didn't happen 100 years ago. It probably happened a lot.
No, absolutely.
100 years ago. But
yeah,
it seems a little more closer to home. And yeah, I mean, being put in that human sacrifice position, I feel like it doesn't happen at all. But I'm sure somewhere in this world, something like that probably does still happen.
Probably. But what I mean by it is it's such a departure because we as a quote unquote civilized society probably feel like, oh yeah, that's not what we do anymore. Like you look at the Mayans and you're like, yeah, we don't do that shit anymore. We're a civilized society. And, you know, we're here.
Instead of like killing us with rusty sacrificial knives, they're just killing us slowly with taxes. So we'll all be dead.
Yay! In game. Obviously, Greg said in game there.
Yeah, they tax my in-game character so much that he wants to not exist in the game anymore.
Yeah, right. 100%. And we were talking before about Greg enjoying survival RPGs. That's why they don't have taxes in the survival RPG games, so you could build the house of your dreams and then blow it up when your friends don't come by anymore, right? That's why, Greg?
I hit a tree with an axe and it gives me 10 wood, but then it taxes it, so I only get 4.
Yes, 100%.
All right.
Anyways, how are you feeling about Dan to Dan this season in general?
The season was good. I said it, I think, at the beginning when we were doing the episode 1 reviews, that it kept the same energy as season 1. So I felt like the transition from season 1 to season 2 was very seamless. And once you picked it up, even though it's like a year later, you're still on board with everything that's happening. With season 2, just like season 1, they maintained the hype. They maintained all of the storytelling elements. They did a very good job of telling the story of the different arcs, because we all know how anime works. You have different arcs and you have stories within the story. But I think they did a really good job of circling back to the main premise of Dan to Dan, which is Okarune's balls.
Yeah, we come back to the balls. I'm excited for season 3 I don't know if I'm as excited as I was because of season one, because there's a lot of things that happened in season one that's just like so fucking awesome. And you watch this brand new show and you're just like, oh my God, this is incredible. I really had a wonderful time. Now that I'm established with the characters a little bit more, I want to see the growth of specific characters, and we'll get into that. But I think season two does a great job of keeping the energy and we get to enjoy them more. I almost read the manga. I was so close to spoiling most of the show for myself. I was on my phone and I was like, I should just buy the manga. I should just buy the whole thing. I should just buy everything. I should just Amazon, buy it all, send it right now. And I didn't. I decided not to.
Good for you.
But I will be buying all of Jujutsu Kaisen very soon. The entire set. I need to find a place to put it in this house, but I will figure it out. I'll make a bookshelf or something. I'll have Greg chop some wood and get taxed and then make me a bookshelf.
I feel like Dan to Dan is like a open survival craft game.
For where everybody's new players and everyone's confused.
7 Days to Die. More or less the whole concept of the game, it's a zombie apocalypse game, and every 7 days is a blood moon. Once nighttime hits, you are just attacked by zombies until the morning. Mm-hmm. Now, when you first play, and assuming you didn't look up builds and mechanics and all that stuff, you just bought the game and played it like a normal person, you like build your base and collect supplies with an idea of how it's supposed to work. Mm-hmm. And then later on, you realize that how you perceived things would work aren't actually how things do work, and then you probably die a ton. But after you play the game for a while, so that first beginning part is like season 1 of Dan to Dan, right? And then once you understand how the blood moon works and how to prepare and how to build your base in such a way to get the zombies to either funnel, so you only have to guard one part of the base versus them hitting all of your walls and then break them down simultaneously and then eat you as your base is crumbling on top of you, you get it. Right now, you're kind of like, all right, I'm at the next stage. I know how to control the zombies. I know what to do. And then you work towards like the, I guess, quote unquote, end game content or the higher level weapons and armor. And then now you have more stat points and you're focusing on your build. That's like season 2. We know how it works now. We understand the dynamic between the characters. I see how the story's going. I see how the writers are doing it and the format that they're using. Now, I just hope that Dan to Dan nails the dismount.
Yeah.
I feel like they've done really well up to this point, and it'll reflect in the score of the anime itself. But if they don't nail the dismount, then I will be extremely sad.
I agree. I think that Dan to Dan is in a very unique place, very similarly to Jujutsu Kaisen, to, let's say, even like, I mean, really anything you could look at. You have the manga, you have the source material. You and I could just go read it right now. Look at what happens in the future.
Yep.
I've read all of Jujutsu Kaisen. I have an understanding of the storyline, and I'm still really excited for it to translate to the anime. Am I as hype on the Jujutsu Kaisen as I was watching season 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen? No. I really like the storyline, but I understand how it ends, and it's different than what I wanted, but that's fine. I hope that Dan to Dan can come through and really just nail a satisfying wrap-up, but I feel like we're going to go for like 6 more seasons. I don't even know how many chapters there are.
You could do something like Demon Slayer, where you're releasing movies. You don't have to do seasons if you don't want to. You have a lot of freedom in terms of adapting it to the anime. I just hope that if they do continue Dan to Dan, which I imagine they will, we don't lose sight of the goal. What they showed me in the beginning, Okarun, Momo, abducted by aliens, attacked by Turbo Granny. Turbo Granny steals Okarun's balls and then loses them as they're fighting on top of a train. Now they have to go get the balls back. And it's like, what happens once we get the balls back? Is it happily ever after? Do things go back to normal? What do we do from here? And I guess that's for the writers to show us, where after the main arc of having no balls, can we maintain this
How
energy?
many more
and
times can you
continue?
say balls, Greg?
The writers can maintain the balls, and then get the energy balls to make us believe that balls is what we're balls for.
Balls.
Back to the original question of non-spoilies Dan season 2. It's good. It's fun. And
Yes.
yeah, I just hope they really nail season 3 and the continuation of the story.
Yes.
I'm saying this because I really like Dan, and I guess I would just be really sad if
it had like a huge fall off and Kaiju number 8 it all over season 2.
Yeah, I would be super sad. Or like it changed studios and animation changed, or like voice actors if anything changed, I think I would be sad.
I think that we as humans are familiar creatures, and I think we've got settled in with how good Dan is, and we want it to continue just being this good all the time. So, Greg, take us away into episode 9. 10, right. Sorry, 10. 10?
Balls.
Ball.
There we go. Episode 10 of Dan. It starts off with an analog clock striking 5 o'clock, and a young man is getting ready for the day, brushing his teeth, eating some toast, brushing his teeth, blow drying his hair, and picking a pair of glasses from a display of glasses that are all literally the same. He suits up in his school uniform and has a pocket full of Guile butterfly knife combs, and he combs his hair back and is ready to go.
Very similar to Guile as well. He hits it with the side swipe. It's pretty good. I don't think it was a reference to Guile, but I really want it to be.
I thought it was a reference to Guile because when he was taking a shower and he took his shirt off, he just had a giant American flag tattoo on his right bicep.
And his left, but it was in reverse for whatever fucking reason. Dude, I just want to sidebar. I love that that's still, like, he's got American flags on both sides. It's kind of the coolest.
I think if he like took his shirt off, he would have American flags like on
just
his
like
nipples.
3 of them. Like,
yeah, but he walks while singing loudly in public and dancing, then combs his hair and crosses the threshold of the school and immediately quiets down. And he walks past Okaroon, who is hiding behind a telephone pole, psyching himself up to say hello to Momo. Momo is waiting for him at the school gate, but Okaroon is second-guessing himself again, thinking she's waiting for somebody else. So he just walks right past her, but Momo runs up and is like, hey, you're late. Let's go.
This is 100% the reference to season 1, by the way. This is exactly like nearly shot for shot, but they added him in. But
yes.
Did you think that this was in the past? That this was the first time this happened when you first saw this?
No.
So I got that impression. I was like, wait, so he's inserted into the past, and this was when this happened the first time, and then later, after they go to class, it's the second time. But then I realized, obviously, but this is my dumb brain, and this is
no, I don't think it's dumb at all. I think they did this on purpose, really, to give you that feeling. And I wouldn't be surprised if they did do that where it was in the past and now they're just showing like flashback to the past and then this kid has always been watching them.
Yes.
In reality, he has. So we can actually apply this new character that we have. And he probably was doing all of the same shit to Momo and Okaroon after they first got abducted.
I would assume so.
But Okaroon gets to his classroom and it's business as usual, getting pushed. People being mean, but he sits at his desk and gets out his stack of occult magazines. But other nerd kid is in the back reading one of his own. Okaroon flips through his magazine, but then gets hit in the face by a volleyball. And other nerd kid is doing exactly what Okaroon is doing.
The other kid, Quinta, as we come to find out.
Yeah, as we come to know.
Was he sitting in Okaroon's old chair? Because I don't think Okaroon was in the middle of the class last season. I think.
Oh, I don't know. Okay. Maybe.
I don't have the old screenshots because I don't have hundreds of thousands of screenshots that I've saved forever. But I'll have to look at that.
Okaroon and Momo pass each other in the hall and miss each other again. An other nerd kid appears to be following Okaroon, but gets blocked by other students. Okaroon gets to Momo's class and quietly asks if Momo is there. And some other kid is like, Hey, yo, I can't fucking hear you. And we have them missing each other, similar to season 1. But the difference is Nerd Kid is in the mix. Okaroon is sitting on a bench, self-loathing again, thinking Momo thinks he's boring. And Momo is on the bench across the hall from him at the location that they clacked teeth. But Nerd Kid is sitting on a bench across from Okaroon. Lunch break is up, and they both get up. And then they run into each other and clack teeth again. And Miko and Muko are there, and Nerd Kid, and they all see their second teeth clack kiss. Cuts to Okaroon in class, and Nerd Kid is trying to get Okaroon's attention by reading an occult magazine right at the front of the class, but Okaroon doesn't notice. He steps it up by getting his scale Gundam out of his locker and runs around with it making Gundam noises, but Okaroon still isn't taking the bait.
Kinta is great because he really has no idea how to be normal. But he's the opposite of Okaroon, where he's at least trying, where Okaroon is just like always like in his own shit, just wants to not pay attention to anything. But Kinta is like running around. He's like, dude, check out this model for a second, please. I just want to talk to you. And walking by him. And I'm just like, dude, they would be great friends. They're fucking dorks. I love that shit. This is how I was in middle school and high school. So I just want young JC to have friends.
Me too. We were probably just like Momo and Okaroon. We'd pass each other in the hall, hoping to see someone that would be our friend, but then we just
Greg,
always
we didn't go to the
missed each
same
other.
school. But we
and then eventually we would sit on different benches, and then when you
And then
got
we
up
would-
and then I
we
got
would-
up, we
yeah.
clacked teeth.
Yeah, we definitely did that. Well, there was a lot of smooching going on, but I think it was on purpose. But either way, no, we didn't go to the same school, Greg, but it's okay.
Schools have no boundaries on friendship.
Right, exactly. I agree.
The Nerd Kid thinks to himself that he needs to use brute force and cunning, and that's the only way he's going to win. So he goes back to his locker and whips out a tub of gamer subs that he used promo code DJ Montague at checkout to save 10% off of his order of gamer subs. And he got
Correct,
limited edition flavors like Please Pay Attention to Me Senpai.
Is that a real flavor, Greg?
Go to gamersubs.gg to get your order of limited edition tubs of gamersubs and save
my
10%
God.
off using DJ Montague at checkout. Okay, well, no, the Nerd Kid doesn't go to get gamersubs. He instead starts singing the song he was singing while walking to school. And Okaroon looks up and he tells Okaroon that he's his enemy. But Okaroon just goes back to reading his magazine. He's like, hey, I'm talking to you. And Okaroon is like, what the fuck? I've never talked to you before. And he said he wants to know how he gets along with Momo so well. Okaroon is like, what? And he's like, you're ugly, short, and boring. So how did you manage to be friends with Momo and Ira? And Okaroon is like, nah, you got the wrong idea. I'm not popular at all with the ladies. Momo then runs into the classroom saying Okaroon's name, and she's like, dude, you're going to be so stoked. I think I found your other ball. And Okaroon is like, shh. Momo is like, oh, sorry. You were talking to this other dude. And she's like, are you friends with Okaroon? And he's like, I may or may not be a friend, depending on context and how you perceive the definition of friendship. And Momo is like, sick. Okay, you two look like you're getting along pretty good. Momo's like, anyway, I think I found your ball. And Okaroon is like, man, we should probably talk somewhere else about my balls. And Nerd Guy is like, holy shit. The secret to being popular with girls is to talk spicy.
We come to find out that he's not good at spicy talk, first of all, and secondly, that it fails miserably. But you, whoever is listening at home, don't do this until you've established that they like the spicy talk, and two, get a safe word.
Everyone, don't listen to DJ Montague. In episode
No.
64 of our podcast, he said that you should go up to your Starbucks barista, and when they ask you what size of coffee you would like, you need to say, my dick wiggle.
I don't remember saying that, but I feel like that's something I would say out of sarcasm. So, again, don't do that to your barista.
Or do. Who knows?
No,
It's your life.
it is your life.
It's now or never.
No, no, Greg. We don't age ourselves that hard.
All right. So some of the girls roll up and are like, hey, Momo, stop going into other people's classrooms. Some of us are trying to study and it's distracting. Momo is like, oh, okay, sorry. Won't happen again. And Okarun gets up to go talk to Momo. And the girls are like, Okarun, you don't have to go if you don't want to. And if you can't tell her no, we can tell her for you. Momo was like, Okarun, what the fuck? And he's like, yeah, man, I don't know what's happening right now. And Momo gets all up in her grill and is like, you lying? And the girl is like, no, Okarun's just scared. Okarun, you can tell me anything. I'm the class rep. Momo was like, yeah, Okarun, tell her how fucking ugly and dumb and fat she is. And the girls argue, and Nerd Guy is like, Okarun is so fucking popular. I gotta time how I butt into this conversation. Then he strikes a pose and says, 10-gallon wiener. And everyone just looks at him like he's weird as fuck.
Because that was weird as fuck, dude. That was weird, bro.
You gotta really work that in. Maybe not start with the 10-gallon. Maybe start with a 1. But going straight to 10 is a little extreme.
No, just don't put the wiener in there. Just say 10-gallon, I guess. Just
Or do put the wiener in
10-gallon, and then done. What?
What?
Hmm?
Momo and Okarun walk together after school at the apartment complex his ball is at. And she's like, what the hell was that girl saying? And Okarun is like, yeah, man, I don't know. But no one in my class has ever talked to me, so it kind of made me happy. Momo says Okarun is sick as fuck. That's why they talk to you. And Okarun is like, wait, what? And Momo is like, yep, you're a cool dude now. Okarun is like, fuck yeah, I did it. And Momo laughs, but then is like, well, back to your balls. You saw that pic Miko had, right? And he's like, yeah. And they talk about his ball as Nerd Kid is lurking, and he's like, they're definitely talking spicy. I want to smooch and talk spicy too. But then he's like, why are they at this apartment complex? They look lost. But kicks a paint can, and they turn around and see him.
How did we get here? What happened?
Well, Dan to Dan. Right?
Yeah, no, it's for sure.
That's a play-by-play of the episode. I didn't embellish at all.
Literally, no, he's, I mean, you're 100% right, Greg. You did not embellish at all.
He's like, oh, what a coincidence. But then the green alien barrier appears and he flies towards Momo and he's like, oh shit, our lips are gonna touch. But Okarun transforms and blocks him from Momo. Momo is like, oh shit, it's the pervy dude from our class. But Okarun is like, look over there. And his ball is floating. And Momo is like, let's go get that ball. So if we remember back to season 1, when we first encountered these alien barriers, it is explained that whoever is in the barrier has enough spiritual power that they are able to be trapped inside of it, which is why the normal kids and probably average ass people like us, nothing happens when the barrier drops. That already shows that Quinta, who we still don't know his name yet, we're telling you in advance, but nerdy kid, pervy kid, the fact that he's trapped inside the barrier with Momo and Okarun shows that he does have some sort of powers that have not been realized.
Yes. And also, we see later in the next episode, when the domain expansion drops, we get information there as well, which is very handy for future. Because I always had that question of like, dude, what if you're just like in the spiritual realm, butt-ass naked, and it drops, and then you're just standing in the middle of public? That is a potential of what could happen.
That happened to Momo, Ira, and Okarun, so...
Oh, true. Yes, maybe that's why I thought that.
But they chase after the ball, and Momo can't catch it, and Okarun tries, but gets knocked back. And he said, there's a body behind that ball, but then it runs. And Momo jumps on Okarun's back, and they chase after it. But Nerd Kid is like, he gives her piggyback rides too? And Momo is like, you fucking suck, watch our bags, or I'll kill you. They chase the ball, but it starts beating them up. But they keep trying to catch it, but are unsuccessful. Momo tells Okarun to grab on, and they rappel down the apartment complex building to chase the ball, but it hits Momo, and now they are free falling. And Momo breaks their fall at the last moment as they hit the parking lot. They complain how they can't fight something they can't see, but then they hear Nerd Kid scream, and they run up to see what's going on, but they see him fall off the building, but Momo grabs him, and Momo is like, go watch our bags, you fuck. But the ball comes back, and he's like, I got this. He runs at it, and the ball easily dodges, but is like, now we have 3 points of vision on it. And I bet it's using some retro reflection projection technology. The ball is like, oh shit, and then starts crashing through the apartment complex, and Momo is able to see it, and she grabs it. Then Okarun full throttles it. They're like, good job, everyone. And you too, pervy man. How did you know its weakness? And then he geeks out about optical camouflage, but they aren't paying attention. And the perpetrator is apparently some ghost kaiju thing. And they're like, let's go check it out. But then it starts getting big now, and now grows to be a true kaiju. And that's episode 10.
Mm-hmm. What a journey. Greg's notes are a little bit shorter because there's a lot of fighting in this episode. I tried to get as much screenshot action as I could for you guys at home. If you are watching on Spotify or YouTube, you could watch the video, not just listen to us and hear and see the screenshots. It's almost like you're watching the episode from our point of view. That's why we do this. This episode, I think that the enjoyment of Dandadan, I'm kind of sitting here laughing and enjoying the moments, but this is also this is like the crab episodes. You know what I mean? Like, this is the crab arc for me, not acrobatic silky arc.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I think that's where Dandadan excels in the absurdity. Like how absurd everything is. It's like, okay, number one, Okarun's balls, they're golden. Oh, now there's a ball just floating, and it's like beating him up. Oh, the ball was actually an optically camouflaged little tiny stuffed animal kaiju. Oh, wait, the kaiju's getting super big and menacing now. And it's just like, what the fuck is going on right now?
But also, best part about all of this is it's show, not tell. It's showing everything. Yes. Like, you're just as confused as the main characters. There are a lot of animes out there that will just literally, like, the villain appears and he's like, haha, you've fallen into my camouflage trap card. And you're like, all right, fuckface. Like, that, you could have just, like, the characters could have been confused. But now it's just exposition now, and I'm bored.
Yeah, like the perfect example would be Failure Frame, where he jumped off of his Slipnir horse to jump into the air and then get a better vantage point on the monster so he could paralyze Poison Pound Town the monster. And as the monster is writhing on the ground getting Pound Towned, he's like, okay, while you're getting pounded while paralyzed, I'm going to tell you how I Pound Town paralyzed you. And then we just get a whole scene of shit they didn't even show us just to make this make sense.
Yes, 100,000%. I don't even know if that manga is still going. Now I need to look that up.
You're just going to be depressed, I think.
I think so.
But while you get depressed, we will move on to episode 11. And the kaiju grows to kaiju-sized proportions and starts smashing the apartment complex while the kids start running. And Okarun is like, Momo, look at the sky. And she's like, is this the aliens? It cuts to Ira, and she's like, is this the aliens? And then Gigi runs up, and it's like, Ira, everyone suddenly disappeared. Did I do something wrong? Ira is like, nah, this isn't you, but let's go find Momo. But as they start to leave, Momo, Okarun, and Nerd Kid come running, screaming kaiju, and now all the kids together are running away from a giant kaiju. Nerd Kid trips, and he's like, I can't keep running forever, and is about to get stomped by the kaiju, but the other kids save him. Momo is like, Gigi, take that Nerd Kid and run. And Ira is like, no, I'm the leader. Gigi, take that Nerd Kid and run. And Momo says to regroup at her place as Ira, Momo, and Okarun go to take on the kaiju. They assess the kaiju, and Momo says it was an invisible type, but when it turned big, it turned into a power type. And Ira says it only uses melee attacks while in power form. We see soon that Ira was incorrect.
Okay, this is what's so weird to me. Is like, you can sit there and put the enemy into boxes, but you've seen some of its powers when it's small. Like, what was the point of trying to assess that? And then totally, well, it's a power type now, like, that it's big. It's like, no, it just got big. Can you assume it's still going to use those abilities? Don't forget about them, please. But I guess we're all a bunch of idiots, and that's what's, I don't know. Don't put it into
I think
boxes.
it was kind of like Momo and Ira, like, they're assessing it because they're trying to assert their dominance as who's the leader of the group or whatever. So they're just like saying shit.
Yeah. All right. But to me, it was just like, you guys are doing a bad job right now. And I mean, that's the whole point. They're doing a bad job.
Yeah, that is the point. And I don't know if it's like some sort of misdirection. So we as viewers
Forget.
Yeah, like get the idea. Oh, okay, it can only use melee attacks, so they're going to fight it and everything's going to be fine. So they're lulling us into a false sense of security where, oh, he was invisible before, but now he's big, so he can only use power, meaning he's never going to be invisible again. Maybe that's why, too. Storytelling wise.
Okay.
But Ira wraps her hair around its eyes and tries to pull it down, but it steels itself and doesn't fall and charges its behemoth horn beam and launches an attack. And they're like, oh, it doesn't just use melee.
Oops.
Yep. Assessment incorrect. Ira hits it with a car, and Momo is like, nice. And she's like, no, call me leader.
What happens to the cars in the real world? Like, these cars are just getting thrown across the fucking... Yeah, I don't know. We see later that all the damage that the monster has done is fixed in the real world. But I would assume that it just takes like a snapshot and says, this is the realm now, wherever it's moving, and then you can interact with that. We see how long the range is as well later on. If you were to throw a car from inside to the outside, that would interact with the outside world.
I think you're correct. Now, I think in terms of seeing the spirits, because close to the end of season 1, where they're fighting Turbo Granny and they're running through like the onsen and stuff, like that damage was...
Well, that damage happened, yeah.
Was real.
Everybody saw that, basically.
They didn't see the crab. They were just seeing shit explode.
Yeah.
I was remembering that. And I think you're correct with the aliens. When they put down the barrier, it's like a separate dimension almost. And you're fighting within that area, and everything in there is just like a copy paste of the real world.
Okay. Total domain expansion. Yes.
Yes. And then Momo throws a car at its legs, but then it tries to tail whip Momo and Okaru. Ira then uses her hair and, like Spider-Man, suspends it in the air and smashes a crane into the kaiju, but the kaiju grabs Ira. But then Momo starts throwing billboards at it, and Ira is able to escape. And Momo is like, man, if you're the leader, start showing us some teamwork. The kaiju just starts busting up buildings and then horn beams again. And Okarun is like, who is it after? And then it hits Momo and Okarun untransforms, and Momo protects them with her shield. And Okarun goes off on how it might be a descendant of the dinosaur that went into space and uses an unknown cosmic energy and converts it into electrical energy with its horn. And that would also explain the optical camouflage. And if they can get to the light source, they might be able to stop it. So yeah, a lot of like occult information in these episodes. So
But also, they're so wrong.
or are they? Who knows?
We knew because we finished the show and we know that they're wrong right now. And
or are they? Was the dinosaur before actually something else, and everyone just perceived it as a dinosaur? Who knows?
Anyways,
who knows? Ira diverts its attention, and then Momo grabs the lightning with her psychic hands and whips it back at the kaiju, and Ira goes in for an attack, but it disappears. And Ira is like, oh, it ran from me. And Momo is like, no, man, it's coming. And then invisible dinosaur feet stomp towards Ira. Okarun transforms and runs to Ira as the kaiju is about to invisible kaiju slammer, and he tells her to jump, and the attack misses, and he says it's right there and to not let her guard down. Ira is like, I can't see shit. And Spider-Man suspends again, but then it horn blasts her and then headbutts a building, and they think that it just got Ira.
I love this show for showing more of Ira's powers this season, right? We get a lot of Ira at the end just doing dope shit and all of her maneuvers. We've seen a lot of what Momo can do. We've seen a lot of what Okarun can do. And now we get Ira. Next season, I'm really hoping they get some really cool stuff with Evil Eye just doing crazy shit. And finally being like, oh, wait, I could just fight every bad guy and this will be fun. I'm really excited for season 3. I love this show. It's so great.
It cuts to Gigi and Nerd Guy running, and Gigi is like, hey, don't sweat on me. And Nerd Guy is like, you're a fucking jerk. And Gigi is like, nah, man, it isn't like that. And he's like, oh, yeah? Well, take my sweat, you fucking jerk. And then he flings sweat at Gigi, and Gigi is like, no! And then almost turns into Evil Eye, but he is able to suppress it. Gigi is like, woo, that was close. But then Nerd Guy fat flinches and splatters Gigi with sweat and immediately turns him into Evil Eye.
Fat flinches. What? Greg, your verbiage? Yeah. All right. Anyways.
How would you describe it?
Yeah, that's a great way to
Okay.
describe it. I was going to assume that you would go really deep into like what happens, but like they animate it so insane, it made me uncomfortable for a second. Because he whips his face and it's just like, you just gotta watch it. There's no way I could put it into words as eloquent as Greg did.
Evil Eye is like, you want to die? And then Laser throws his backpack past Nerd Guy's head. But Nerd Guy is like, you're supposed to take me and run. And don't leave me alone. What would Momo say? And Evil Eye is like, where's Momo? And we're supposed to regroup at her house.
Dude, the backpack throw, like he just pulls it forward and then rips it and throws it immediately. I appreciate that Evil Eye has decided not to hurt people, but somebody got fucking hurt in this situation.
Somebody does, and we will see.
Yes, it's fucking incredible. Incredible. Front to back. He throws the backpack. It breaks through the building and just shatters the corner of it and then keeps going.
I'm surprised there's still contents in that backpack.
Yeah, no, that backpack exploded. But it's covered in the souls.
Oh, okay.
Because it's got the purple thing.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I remember when I was in school and I had to carry a backpack, I would just like gently set it down at my desk and it would just explode open and all my fucking books would go everywhere.
100%. Yeah,
Isn't it crazy that when we were in school, we carried like 150 pounds of books?
Dude, I think about that every now and then where I'm like, dude, you had this like dog shit JanSport backpack that had 0 padding for your spinal column. You get 0 training in how to use a backpack properly without hurting yourself. And like, they're just like, yeah, you're a child, you're growing, you'll be fine. And then now I've just got all these fucking back problems, probably from hurting myself skateboarding. But I'm going to blame it on the American school system because I am an adult.
We didn't have Gen back then to teach us how to pack our backpacks. We would just literally stuff our backpacks with these like 40-pound books that we had to carry literally all the time, wrapped in fucking paper grocery bags.
Yep.
That was our lives back then.
Yep. I remember I had my books and I was like, I want somebody to draw something cool. I'm not talented. And there was this dude that was drawing weeby stuff. And I was like, hey, will you take my books and draw cool stuff on them? And he's like, yeah. And I never saw those books again, ever. Those books were gone. So,
well, probably because he put them in his already heavy backpack, and then it just crushed his body, and his soul was trapped there forever.
He died. Yeah, he is now Evil Eye somewhere.
Evil Eye is like, oh shit, is today the day I get to fight him? And then starts laughing and runs away. Best. Cuts back to Ira, and she's down for the count. And Kaiju is going in for the kill, but Okarun full throttles and saves her. But he's like, oh shit, that was my second full throttle. And then they plummet back to Earth, but Momo saves them with her psychic hands. And she's like, man, what are we going to do if you can't transform? But then the Kaiju got hit by the laser backpack thrown by Evil Eye. I actually wrote, then the Kaiju got hit by the backpack that Evil Eye yeeted earlier.
Yes, that he did eat that backpack. That is an applicable sentence.
Nice.
Great
6-7.
job, Greg.
Yeah, 6-7.
Fuck. No.
Am I doing it?
You're doing it.
The kids retreat and literally run all the way back to Momo's house. And Okarun is like, wait, something is wrong. Ira isn't coming off of me. And then it's revealed she was just enjoying the embrace of Okarun. And then Momo puts a stop to that. Evil Eye is like, oh shit, you're finally here. I can't wait to fight. But they're like, hey, wait, today isn't fight day. And he's like, oh, okay. Momo is like, hey, should we get Evil Eye to fight with us? And Okarun is like, no. I said he's only supposed to fight me. And if we let him fight others, then what is he going to think? Okarun is like, oh, Seiko isn't home. And Momo says she's in a different prefecture for a TV show. And she's like, man, this sucks. But one of the Minecraft blocks that was used to rebuild the house starts glowing. And Okarun is like, wait a minute. And anything Momo touches starts to glow blue. Cuts to the kaiju stomping through the city, and it stomps its way to Momo's house. And Okarun is like, hey, let's use the nanoskin blocks to fight the kaiju. Okarun tries to turn the house into something to fight the kaiju, but is failing. And Nerd Guy is like, leave the sci-fi thinking to me. And he yells that his name is Kinta Sakata and just turns the whole house into Voltron Buddah. And that's how episode 11.
That is very, very applicable to what happens. I'm catching up on screenshots, by the way, friends, because Greg, it's literally like this all happens over 3 minutes, and there's a lot of like them kind of explaining it, but Greg boiled it down very well.
Okay, so now we move on to episode 12, the finale of Dan to Dan. And a lot of shit like happens, but then doesn't. This is a lot of fighting, and we will let the screenshots explain the fighting as I explain what is going on. Mm-hmm. So keep your finger on that screenshot button, DJ Montague, because we're going to go fast.
Yes.
If anything, we're going to go full throttle.
Oh, golly. That was good. Okay. But real quick, did you notice that the house only started shimmering when Kinta got near it?
Was it him or was it?
It's all of them together. It seems like they finally start noticing, but it's only when, I mean, we've been hanging out at the house doing the nanoskin for a while. And then I assume because he has some sort of abilities that the nanoskin's reacting to him being there, wanting to make a giant robot to fight this thing. Yeah. Because it's like he says it's his dream. So he's like,
yeah. Episode 12. No one knows how to pilot the giant Buddah Voltron. And Momo is like, everyone, let's just press a button we like. And then they do. And the Voltron just does a bunch of random shit, but nothing useful.
Blows its own arm off, sticks its tongue out.
It just does a bunch of useless shit, and then it like falls over.
Yes.
Kinta looks at the manual, and he's able to move a leg, but it falls to the ground. Then the kaiju, spinning back, kicks the Voltron in the face and uses its tail to throw it. And Okarun goes flying out, while the Voltron is getting beat up by the kaiju. I'll let the screenshots catch up here.
Oh, you got it, Greg. We're caught up.
Evil Eye then breaks out of the Voltron, exclaiming freedom, and then gets stepped on by the kaiju, but then he lifts its foot and trips it, and it falls, and the blast blows Evil Eye away. Okarun runs to Evil Eye, and he's like, can we have a death match yet? And Okarun is like, fuck no, man, not right now. And then the kaiju is electrocuting the Voltron, and Okarun is like, oh no, everyone else is still inside.
He breaks out of the mech finally. He's like, why am I stuck in this room? This is stupid. He's probably claustrophobic, but, you know, that makes sense. Throws the kaiju and then goes up to Okarun and he's like, dude, this is the time. Like, this is obviously the situation in which we fight. There is so much going on over here. We need to make a spectacle out of this. Like, I just really enjoy Evil Eye's childlike behavior. It's great. And still wearing clothes. Good news.
Okarun is like, oh no, everyone is still inside. And Evil Eye is like, I want to fight that thing. And Okarun is like, well, okay, maybe just this once. The kaiju is going to step on Okarun, but the Voltron hand moves to stop it. And Kinta is like, manual decoded. I figured it out. It's made of nanoskin. So I just have to imagine how I want it to move. and now the Voltron transforms into cool-looking golden Buddha with sunglasses.
Sunglasses that were on the front cover of the magazine he was reading on the guy. That's pretty great.
The kaiju charges and Quinta punches it with the Voltron, and they have a good old robot versus kaiju battle. And he's deflecting the horn beam, but the arm of the Voltron falls off, and he picks it up and throws it, shouting rocket punch, and hits the kaiju, then reattaches the arm and spins him Mario 64 Bowser style. They fight more, and Quinta has it by the mouth, but then it starts to point blank horn beam, and then it goes into a flashback of Quinta. Everyone at school is making fun of him for being an otaku and liking Gundam models, and it's switching between scenes of the robot getting beat up and Quinta, firm in his Gundam liking resolve, and continues to fight the kaiju. Okarun and Evil Eye are on foot trying to catch up to them, but then the kaiju camouflages and gets a surprise punch-off and breaks the Voltron. And Okarun tells him to hit the eject button and get out of there. But he can't reach, and the kaiju goes for the kill. But Momo is like, dude, I'm fucking motion sick, but uses her psychic powers to stop the tail stab, and Okarun realizes that the Voltron enhances the power of the pilots. Now the girls are using their powers, and Ira hair wraps the kaiju so they can see it, and now the Voltron looks like a weird golden psychic glowing acrobatic silky mashup, but the kaiju charges its horn beam, but Momo uses her powers to reattach the limbs of the Voltron and then picks up the kaiju and spins it around in the air and then power bombs it. Did you want to expand on the power bombing at all?
I could expand on the power bomb. I do really appreciate them expanding the powers of what this mech is, and like the nano skin being able to, in the future, potentially be used to amplify all of the kids' powers with another fight that they have. And I want to know why the nano skin does this.
There's a couple things I would like to know why that they didn't explain. Maybe they'll explain it in season 3. Maybe that's part of Quinta's power, where he is able to, like, he's almost like a support. He's able to enhance other people's powers. Mm-hmm. Who knows?
That's a really good way to look at it, Greg.
But the powerbomb works, and the kaiju returns to a tiny size, and then the alien barrier goes down, and now everyone can see the fucking Voltron amalgamation, and Momo is like, oh shit, and Quinta is like, just imagine, and then she turns it into a weird UFO and then flies it back home. It gets back, and it's just a fucked up half Voltron, half house, and the girls go to throw up from being motion sick, and Quinta is happy he was able to pilot a robot. That house is like something out of the fucking Jetsons.
It's like a bad Jetsons accident. Rosie just ruined a house episode.
That's super dating us. No one actually knows what we're talking about.
Nobody knows what the Jetsons are. Dude.
It cuts back to before they fly away, and Okarun gets left behind, but now all the bystanders are taking pictures of the kaiju, and Okarun goes to find Evil Eye, and he's climbing a building, and he's like, no, don't do that. And he's like, you don't let me do anything. Always no, never yes. Okarun goes to buy a Nikumon at the convenience store and tells Evil Eye to eat it, and he turns back into Gigi because it was hot. Then they pick up the kaiju and run away with it, as all the bystanders are following them, but they run so far, all the bystanders get tired and stop, and they make it back to Momo's house. Quinta comes out, and he's like, hey there, useless fucks. And Okarun is like, dude, that was sick. You piloted that? And he's like, of course I did. It was easy. Oh, and tell me, are you fighting to protect this planet from kaiju? And Okarun says, not really, but we got to get the golden ball back. And he's like, oh shit, well, I'll lend you my powers then. So this is kind of similar to Ira, where Ira is like pretty soldier Sailor Moon, where she's just like, are you guys fighting to protect the world from evil? And now Quinta is doing the same thing, where he's like, are you fighting to protect the planet? I thought that was a nice
yeah, they definitely part. Quinta's more of the extraterrestrial side of things, whereas Ira's the ghost side of things, or the what would the word be? Not extraterrestrial.
Spirit, impurities. The summer Hikaru died.
You got it all. Nailed it.
Okay.
Great job, Greg. Fucking slammed it home, dude. Slam dunk.
Okaroon opens the mouth of the kaiju and says he sees a person inside. And Kinta and Gigi argue, but Okaroon is like, well, it's my ball. I'll check it out. And he sees a zipper that he unzips to reveal a t-shirt from itaesthetics.com where the kaiju used promo code TABC10 at checkout to save 10% off of its order of t-shirts like the one that DJ Montague has or the one that I am wearing right now. If you would like to save 10% off, use promo code TABC10 at checkout at itaesthetics.com. And they also have Dan to Dan t-shirts. So if you are enjoying Dan to Dan Season 2 and the review from the Anime Book Club podcast, go check out the shirts and pick one up yourself and save 10%.
100% of 10%. I have such a problem buying IT aesthetic shirts, which is obviously a great problem. I need extra money to buy more shirts. Please, just Earth send me money so I can buy more shirts. Please.
Yeah, you got to budget correctly, like Shizuku buying camping supplies.
No.
Oh, okay.
Budgeting.
Just spend all your
terrible.
money.
Yeah, it's capitalism. What actually happens is, Greg?
Yeah. So he sees a zipper and he unzips it, and it's revealed that it's just a hot alien girl inside of the kaiju suit. The girls come crawling out of the house and are like, hey, Kinta, help me fix the house. But Momo sees the alien girl planning a big old smooch, no clack teeth here, onto Okaroon. And Gigi and Kinta are like, shit. And then Momo nano skin blows up the entire house.
She was like holding on to it. It turns into a little heart, and then she smashes it in her hand, and the house explodes. And I'm like, oh no, Momo, I'm so sorry. Oh, this show. But also, great reference to episode 1. Yeah.
That's the finale. And
Greg,
yeah.
you first.
Okay.
I have many things.
And I don't know if my notes do the episodes justice because there's so many well animated, well thought out story elements that I don't feel like I can capture in the notes that I'm writing. I think this is one of those things where you need to watch it to fully be able to experience what is going on in the show.
I can agree, but also I think that everyone that watches this show is going to get something a little bit different from it because of their own experiences with relationships in general. And that's what I love about this show. Like, you could be like, oh yeah, I'm like Kinta in real life. Like, I put on a front, or I'm like Momo where I'm abrasive and brash, but I'm just trying to have a good time. Like, you can almost self-insert with all of these characters in different parts of different people's lives. And I think that it's really cool the way that these characters are evolving. It's not like there's a lot of growth yet with Ira or Gigi, but I think that with them being the most recent additions, and then now we're getting Kinta and potentially Alien Girl, we've got a lot of different characters that can grow along with Momo and Okaroon. And I think it's such a fun experience with this show.
I didn't know what to expect in season 2. I knew it was going to be about Evil Eye, which we got when the first 9 episodes is basically Evil Eye's story. And then from the end of 9 to the finale, we get this giant kaiju fight. Everyone's working together. And then we get introduced to this new alien girl. For me, they left it on a little bit of a cliffhanger. The story's not over, not even fucking close. If you end the season with a brand new character, everything they did was good in terms of the callbacks, the explosion from season 1, the Kinta, Ira. Once they get their powers, they're now somehow justice warriors for the world or something like that. Everything about it is good. I like Dan to Dan a lot. And because I like it a lot, I get scared that whatever happens in season 3, is it going to be able to continue the story and keep the energy as high as the last 2 seasons? Now we basically have everyone loves Okarun. All girls love Okarun, even fucking random ass girls at school that we've never saw before that have been in the same class as him forever.
I think it's the golden balls part.
Yeah, like I feel like there's something doing it. To me, like Okarun has eyes for Momo. Will always be the case or whatever, but Ira's there being number 2. Alien Girl is probably going to be there, be number 3. So it's going to be like a weird small Okarun harem, while Gigi is the silly guy and Quinta's the fucking weirdo, and no girls are into them. Well, actually, girls are into Gigi because he has a whole crowd of them giving him Pompey juices, and then he turns into Evil Eye and says he's going to kill them all.
Yeah.
But in our main character roster, it's pretty much like no one else has girls except Okarun.
Right.
And this is like the thing too now where we're touching a tiny bit into harem territory, where I like to think I know a thing or two about a harem anime.
You do, Greg.
Ideally, it's going to be like, okay, Okarun and Momo are going to end up together happily
Yes.
ever after, high five.
Mm-hmm.
But then what happens with Ira? What happens with Alien Girl? You can say they're just going to get over the relationship and not be romantically interested in Okarun. But then now that you do that, how does the dynamic of the team change? And now
Yes.
is Ira going to be like, well, I guess I'm just going to fucking go with Gigi, I suppose, my number 2, because my number 1 got taken, and I'm just going to settle for everything else in my life because I can't have the first thing that I want.
I think she'll realize that she really likes Gigi anyway, and they'll have their moment later on.
And then what? Then fucking Quinta's gonna get Alien Girl, like fucking Krillin got
I don't think
like
they,
Android
yeah,
18,
I
and then they're
literally
gonna
was gonna
Dragon
say,
Ball wish her to be human, and then they're gonna have babies. Like, I don't know.
mean, I don't think they'll wish her to have babies, but I think they potentially will have babies in general.
If everyone's into Okarun, but then Okarun chooses one of them, like they either have to abandon hope that Okarun is going to forsake Momo and go with one of them, or they're going to have to choose a secondary partner, or like just the whole dynamic of the current group is going to change if that happens. So I'm just curious how this is all going to work out. Who knows? Maybe this alien chick is actually from the same planet as Mantis Shrimp, and they're going to all go back together or something like that.
But all of this is speculation, and we hope that they come up with a good resolution for all of the things happening. My assumption is that Ira and Gigi will eventually start seeing each other on the side, and then they'll catch them and be like, hey, what the fuck is that? And she'll be like, oh, Okarun, it's not like that. And Gigi will be like, hey, what the hell? And then that'll be that dynamic for a little while. And then I'm assuming Quinta is just going to find some girl that's like super nerdy, like the lead representative of that class. And then the alien girl will find whatever she's looking for.
Rating time, animation, 10. Story, 10. Personal feelings, 10. Now, reluctantly, I did give character development a 9. The reason it got a 9 is because I didn't like how through this entire turn of events, season 1, season 2 included, Momo gets a job at a maid cafe. Okarun goes to visit her. He waits for her after work to walk her home because women shouldn't walk home at night by themselves, and he's being a good guy. They hold hands in the fucking van. They clack teeth again. But Okarun still is not confident in himself. And the skating around their liking each other, that's why I gave the character development a 9. Because I feel like Okarun as a character hasn't necessarily grown. Because he is still the same from season 1, even after first meeting Momo, and they were on a spaceship and she was about to get space aliened, and then her powers awaken, and then all this crazy shit happens. For some reason, he still thinks that she doesn't like him. And that just bugged me enough to be able to dock a single point from an otherwise perfect score of Dan to Dan.
Mm. I want them to realize their love and care for each other, but they're also like 16 and it's been like 2 months. I forget how long it's been so far, but it has not been that long. They've just become closer with each other. And while I want this to happen faster, I have to also say, like, in their timeline, this is not that long in comparison to how long we've been watching the show and enjoying the show. Something more significant has to happen for them to actually realize what the hell is happening because they're kids, again, not understanding the world around them.
This isn't the first time he's done it. And the fact that they hang out like literally every day. And it's not even the fact that I want it to just be a straight up 180, like, oh man, like he's going to turn into fucking Fabio and just sweep Momo off her feet or something like that, right? That's not what I'm saying either. But just a small change in the attitude is all. And I don't know, maybe they did that whole thing to throw us back into season 1, like make it seem like this is a time skip backwards and then Quinta was always just waiting in the wings, but we know it wasn't. That's why, other than, like, for me, a perfect score is I watched the thing and I'm left speechless with no second guesses in my mind or in my heart.
I could see that. I'm just wanting more. I just want to watch the show all the time.
But here we obviously have a cliffhanger. We have a new girl we don't know anything about. Why is she in a dinosaur suit? Why did she have the ball? Why was she camouflaged? Why did she fight him? Okarun unzips her kaiju dress and now she just kisses him. We don't know what that kiss means. Maybe in alien language that's like, you know, fucking shampoo and Ranma, and that's a kiss of death, and now she has to kill him. Like, I don't know. And I haven't read the manga and I'm not going to, so I'm not going to know until season 3 comes out. Dan got a 9. In reality, it got like a 9.9 or something, but it didn't achieve the 10 out of 10, literally perfect. There was like just a couple tiny little things that stopped me from giving it the full 10.
I could see it. And also I still, like, in my mind, give Dan a 9 because of how much I enjoy it. I think, like you say, a 9.9, but I'm waiting for the story to complete so I can enjoy it in its totality. To me, like, I can give Jujutsu Kaisen, I know the end of the story, I know how I feel about it, I can give that a full score. But yeah, I agree with you. I want more. I just want more Dan.
You're giving it a 9?
I am.
Okay, so we're unanimous.
9.9999999 repeating.
That concludes Dan. Wild ride. Fun ride.
A really fun ride. If you ever get the chance to pilot a robot, try it. Maybe you'll have a great time. Maybe it's your dream. But Greg, lead us out of here.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us today on this episode of the Anime Book Club podcast. You can find us at theanimebookclub.com or on the Instagrams at the Anime Book Club podcast. You can find us on YouTube at the Anime Book Club podcast, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere that you enjoy listening to podcasts. You can visit gamersups.gg and use promo code DJ Montague for 10% off of your order of Gamersups. And you can visit it-aesthetics.com and use promo code TABC10 at checkout for 10% off of your order of Dan shirts as well.
Yes. And today's moral is be conscious of your own impact of the world. I think I've said this one similarly in another one way, potentially.
Yeah, you said Sonder.
Yes, I did say Sonder. Wow, that's kind of where I was going. Now I have to adjust a little bit. Just be good in the world. Be the change that you want to see that isn't super murder, crashing into buildings with your mech suit or something like that.
Yeah, don't be like Evil Eye, where your solution's murder.
Exactly. Don't be like Evil Eye. He's the hot guy at the bar that tries to kill your animals so that you could only love him. Don't be like him. Anyways, friends, thank you so much for tuning in to the wonderful Anime Book Club podcast. Red Leader signing out.
Yeah, and then I'd be like, DJ Montague, tell him what time it is.
No, that's not how this... I already said my part. Greg, you do the part where you say goodbye.
No, that I have to be like, DJ Montague, say goodbye.
Bye? Greg, now you say goodbye.
Oh.
You've got a special way of doing it. It's so much better than mine.
It's not that special.
It's too late, Greg. We have 68 episodes of you saying goodbye at the end. This is not changing anymore, Greg.
I don't even know if anyone likes it.
I like it, and that's what counts at the end of the day. Say goodbye. We have other things to do.
Okay. All right, everyone. We'll see you in the next one.
And, Greg, say the thing.
I'm getting peer pressured. Goodbye.
Thank you, friends, for checking out the Anime Book Club podcast. We hope you enjoyed the episode.
And if you don't want to miss the next one, follow us on the socials where we announce new episodes, content, and other cool stuff. You can also check out our anime list with our rankings and follow along with what we're currently watching and what we have watched in the past.
All the links are in the description. See you in the next one. Bye!